can have a little rummage around in your rubbish.
How do you make money for nothing?
I love that.
The answer could be hiding in the 30 million tonnes of household waste we throw out every year.
So heavy, they don't make them like this anymore. Look at that.
That's why entrepreneur Sarah Moore wants to get her hands on things before they hit the skip.
I'm a passionate maker, buyer and user of old stuff, and I've turned that passion into a money-making business. I make new stuff out of old stuff and I sell it for a profit.
And with some of the country's elite designers and makers,
Say something nice about it.
My juices are flowing in this one. They are going to be wow.
she can transform her finds into desirable,
Isn't that stunning?
valuable
Oh, wow!
and hopefully saleable items.
That is bonkers.
If Sarah is successful, then she can hand the profits back to the very people who had no idea there was cash to be made from their trash.
Got £350.
Today, Sarah is in Surrey searching the Whitley Recycling Centre.
Today, I'm after those little gems that once transformed can make some cold, hard cash.
The goal for Sarah is to find 3 items that can go from unwanted and unloved to polished and profitable.
Now I'm doing this. You look up there and make sure I'm not missing anything, all right?
Not just anyone can hang about the dump. Sarah needed special permission from the dump owners before she could start poking about.
Any minute now it's going to be complete... Oh no, it's even worse.
Thankfully, she doesn't have to rely on her puzzle-solving skills to spot Keith and his car full of rubbish.
Hi there. I'm sorry to bother you. I was just looking at your contents of your boot. What are you doing? Are you clearing out?
Yes. Yeah.
What are the sacks? What are all these for? Or what,
It's
you know,
Hessian.
would it be possible to have a closer look at some of them? I mean, if they're whole, I might be able to do something with them. It'd be good to...
All right, okay.
If you don't mind.
Yeah. So do you do things with things then?
Yeah, that is
if you know
exactly.
what I mean.
I think that's a very good description
Yeah,
of it. I try and make stuff out of things that are going to be thrown away.
But can Sarah make anything out of Keith's old Hessian sacks? Hessian is a coarse material made from the hemp or jute plant, popular in the past for making rope as well as storing vegetables such as potatoes and onions.
Oh, I love these. It reminds me of a sack race when I was little. I'll have to think of something inventive to do with them, though.
She's going back a few years.
Hey, that's rude.
Oh, it's just a little bit cheeky, Sarah.
I'm going to take your
You can have the pen.
sack full of sacks and, yeah, have a little play around with those.
But what does Keith think will become of his Hessian sacks?
I've got no idea, to be honest. I mean, somebody can find a use for things like that, which you don't see anymore. It's brilliant.
I know they look really rustic, but they'd make some really simple tote bags, wouldn't they? Something like that.
Well, they can't get much simpler than they are just now. But Sarah knows one designer who can turn them from rags to riches. When you think bags, think Neil Rag. From salvaged and unwanted materials, Neil creates everything from handbags to haversacks and prides himself on the fact his bespoke bags will last a lifetime.
I love being able to create something from what would be rubbish, I suppose, to other people. You could have, for example, a tent that was at Glastonbury and saw the Rolling Stones, and then now it becomes a bag, and it's seen quite a life already. So everything here has got a personality. All the bags have lived a life, and they're now about to live a second life.
So let's hope Neil can breathe new life into that pile of unpromising Hessian. One down and 2 to go, and Sarah, as ever, is discovering some gems.
A rubber swan?
A rubber swan.
You never know when you need a rubber swan, do you?
Well, I suppose that's true, you don't. Luckily, it's not long before Sarah spots Harry, who's cleaning unwanted clutter before moving home.
been there 20 years, so it's amazing how much bits and pieces we have collected.
I can imagine. What else are you chucking out? Anything exciting?
Oh, I suppose so, yeah.
Is that your card table? Are you throwing it?
Yeah. It's not in very good shape. It's about 80 years old.
Really?
Yeah.
Any chance I could have a look at it?
Yeah, sure.
Bingo! Or should I say Yahtzee or pontoon? Anyway, let's take a look.
I think it's lovely. Does it still spring when you open? Will it still open up? So you just
Each leg just pulls out, clicks, when you want to shut it.
I think that I might be able to make something out of that. Shall I take it away and show you what I've done if I manage to?
Yep.
Where are you moving to? Are you moving far?
Eastbourne.
Okay, well maybe I'll take a little trip down to the coast and show you what I've done with it.
With his card shark days behind him, what does Harry think Sarah will do with his table?
Well, if anything can be made of it and sold on to somebody for benefit, that's fine.
It's an old card table, 80 years old, still in very good condition.
Is it?
Definitely be able to turn a profit on that.
Looks like a bit of a gamble on the card table to me. She's going to need a little help to turn it into a winning hand. Daniel Heath has a passion for all things sustainable. An award-winning wallpaper and textile designer, Daniel loves nothing more than adding an artistic flair to reclaimed materials to create made-to-order furniture and contemporary design pieces.
My imagery that I develop for my prints is usually quite illustrative. I really enjoy drawing, and then I have to draw and develop it into something that can be used for a textile or for a wallpaper. Screen printing onto salvaged materials such as wood, slate and leather as well sometimes. And it's actually meant that I've been able to take my imagery and put it on all sorts of different things, and it's been really good fun doing that.
I just hope he can get as much enjoyment out of this currently tatty card table. We're 2 down and 1 to go. This time Sarah's searching for her own money-making magic.
It's fantastic what they do these days, isn't it? They even recycle pets.
Maybe stick to the searching, Sarah. Soon enough, Pauline and daughter Samantha have appeared with a bootload of old apples. I wasn't expecting that.
Hi, I'm Sarah. Hello. Hello. Don't throw them. Don't throw them.
No, sure.
Pop them back in the car a second. Got quite a few there.
Made about 30 apple pies so far.
This crumble
My
coming
father
out.
can't take any more.
Is it torture by apple?
Yeah, torture by apples.
I'm looking for things that I can recycle, and I'm thinking, I don't know if apples are in my remit. And I'm a trained chef.
Oh, no.
I've spent 10 years cooking, so I can cook. But I'm just wondering about making cider. Have you ever had them pressed before?
Yes, well, we have had them pressed, and we wanted to do that this morning, but because we've got somebody at home that's not very well. Yeah, we can't leave him, and we just can't. We need some help.
Okay, well, I'll go and get a trolley, and these will be one of my more unusual items of the day.
With Sarah's skills as a chef, she should be able to take advantage of this unexpected bounty. And I've got 1 or 2 ideas. How about apple strudel, apple crumble, apple muffins, apple surprise, apple cake?
So that must be one of the most unusual things that you get at the recycling centre. So thank you ever so much for letting me have them.
No problem.
Thank you so much. Have a good day, and I hope your car gets better. Yeah, thank you. It might be more than one.
Apple sauce, apple fritters, apple chutney, apple turnovers. I could go on, but it's not all about me. What do Pauline and Samantha think Sarah could do with their boot full of fruit?
To make some cider out of them would be fantastic. They're not in great nick, so I'm thinking that pressing them either for juice, possibly cider, or maybe even cutting them up and making apple chutney out of them. Who knows, but whatever it is, there's heaps of apples here, and that can mean heaps of money.
Heaps of money from a heap of rotting apples. Well, good luck with that one. And that makes up her 3 items. Neil Ragg will work on Keith's raggedy pile of sacks. Daniel Heath will turn his hand to Harry's card table. and Sarah will press as much profit as possible from Pauline and Samantha's apples.
Today's eclectic collection of items provide just the kind of challenge I love, but there's going to have to be some really radical changes to make some real cha-ching.
Walthamstow, East London, a busy urban area where plenty of artists and designers ply their trade. Daniel Heath is waiting for Sarah's arrival, but he's already got some material in mind he'd like to use.
It's slate that I engrave onto, and I think it would be really great if we can sort of embed that into something. Hopefully, if there's like a wooden surface, we can do something with that. So we'll see.
Once he sees the card table, let's hope Daniel still wants to slate it and not just slate it.
If I found this table at a car boot sale with a £10 price tag on it, I'd be trying to haggle them down to a £5. So it's going to take an absolute genius to turn this into something beautiful that can actually make a profit. Fortunately, I know a genius, and I'm just hoping that he wants to take this on. Hiya.
Hey,
how you doing? Yeah, really well. You?
Yeah, well, thanks.
I bought you a little gem.
Right, okay. Let's see what it is.
Well, card table.
Okay.
Seen better days.
That's a bit gone, isn't it?
It's got nice legs though. I thought it had potential to have something lovely done to it. So, what do you think?
Yeah, I think it's
Let's
great.
stand it up.
It's quite sort of a decadent kind of item to have, isn't it? You know, like a card table. I think we could probably inlay something into the surface. I was thinking about the slate actually. That might be quite nice to put in there. We've got some etching that we do on slate.
Oh my word, look at that.
Salvage slate, and we engrave onto it.
Daniel will inlay that slate into the top, but what about the rest of the table?
I mean, we'll sand the wood back.
Right.
But I think we could do something really kind of bold with the colour.
So you're talking a really good game. It sounds like it's going to be a beautiful high-end piece of furniture.
It does, but what's that classy makeover going to cost?
I think we're talking about 300 to 350.
Okay, I just can't wait to see it, really. I'm excited about it.
Me too.
Because it wasn't in a great place.
Daniel's studio is definitely the best place for it. Now a transformation is on the cards.
Thank you very much. Good luck with it.
Cheers.
Bye. It's quite a big investment to turn it into something beautiful, but I've got every faith in Daniel and making a profit.
And Daniel seems full of big ideas too.
We'll do something really, really quite striking, quite symmetrical, I think, geometric, Art Deco influenced. Really make something of this section that's kind of carved out from the legs. Maybe we can put some gold leaf in there or something like that.
Gold leaf? Go easy with that budget, son. So, will that £350 budget be enough to turn that old card table into a real ace? Set on the banks of Old Father Thames, the pretty Buckinghamshire town of Marlow has long been the home to creative salts. None other than Mary Shelley, the author of Frankenstein, once lived here. And much like that mad scientist, current resident Neil is a dab hand at stitching together odd bits and bobs to make a whole new creature.
What I tend to do is take any fabrics that people would be throwing away that don't want anymore, so they would end up in landfill. Anything that basically, you know, you can sew, I can make something from.
Anything, Neil? Are you sure about that?
These old sacks have got bags of potential. Well, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it, and I'm hoping Neil doesn't mind working with something that really smells.
Oh, not you again. What
I've got sacks.
They are sacks.
Here, take them.
Thank you. Wow.
Bags of sacks. What could be better?
How many?
I think there are about 18.
Okay.
That was brave.
Rustic.
They smell, don't they?
They do, but all my bags have a smell.
That's reassuring.
Have you ever used sacks before to make bags?
No, it's not doesn't tend to be the material that I make, the top end, boutique style bags from. They're agricultural. They're rugged. There's no disguising that feel, that theme. So we possibly don't try to hide that. We stick with the agricultural, that kind of feel. We don't disguise what they were.
Do you think we should make something really agricultural, like garden, something with garden out of them?
We add some fabric and turn it into a trug style bag. So you're in the garden, you're chucking your weeds and everything in. Possibly add some leather. We make some nice handles.
Neil plans to make them into useful trug-style bags used for carrying tools, flowers or veg when gardening. A traditional garden trug was a boat-shaped basket carved from a piece of timber, but these ones are going to be made from smelly old sacks. How much do you want for that, Neil?
If we've got at least 10 of these bags that you would take, then we could do them for £12 a bag.
That sounds great. 12 quid a bag is really reasonable. Brilliant. Well, enjoy the sacks.
The deal is in the bag.
Well, that totally exceeds my expectations of what we might have been able to do with those old garden sacks. It looks like I've just commissioned my first range of saleable, desirable garden trucks.
It's nice and agricultural. I haven't seen anything that we're going to make out there on the street, so I think this will be something very unique.
A unique agricultural order it is then, but at a budget of only £12 each, can he really turn these unwanted sacks into attractive trug-style bags? In her farmhouse in the tranquil Sussex countryside, Sarah's preparing to host one of her barn sales. Things are already being set up, but Sarah's got a unique challenge of her own this morning.
Come on.
She's got to turn a profit from a load of old apples. The plan is to make apple crumble to sell to the visitors.
Right, crumble time.
Sarah's daughter Libby is lending a hand today.
Let's get started.
And Sarah will need all the help she can get if she's going to turn the rotting fruit into a saleable treat.
I'm hoping that these apples are going to be lovely inside, but I have a feeling they're all going to be quite brown. Not that one. That's fine. So what I'm doing now is just going to make a puree out of them, peel them up, make sure there's no little bits of core left in them, and then cook them with some sugar and a little bit of cinnamon.
Thank you, Nigella. What programme is this again?
I'm going to have my work cut out getting lots of good apple out of them, because I think a lot might be a bit rotten.
If you're thinking of starting your own apple crumble business, there are many food hygiene regulations to comply with.
You washed your paws yet?
Yeah.
But with 10 years of experience as a chef, our Sarah certainly knows her stuff.
I have to say I'm not paying a huge amount of attention here. I've got way more apple than I'm going to need, so I'm just going to cherry pick the best bits. And I always use a knife because it's just a lot quicker, and then when you get to a bit that isn't quite perfect, you can just whip it off really quickly. And what I'm going to do is make some crumbles up in some little enamel tins and then serve some others in teacups, just so people can have a little taster of it.
Although now a British classic, apple crumble became popular during the Second World War when the ingredients needed for the then popular apple pie were rationed.
So I'm hoping within about 25 minutes, half an hour, I could have some crumble ready for the people here at the barn sale, just in time for lunch. Right.
Careful, or it'll be less of an apple crumble and more of an apple splat. Crisis averted, it's time to rustle up the crumble topping. To plain flour, Sarah adds sugar. A lot of sugar. Oh, crikey, she's used a whole bag. I hope your customers have got a sweet tooth.
The butter just needs to be rubbed in roughly. So I'm going to cut it up into little cubes. What you need to do, when you're making pastry, you only use the tips of your fingers because they're the coldest bit. So what you need to do is just squeeze that together, lift it up, and keep rubbing and squeezing. Bet you can't do it for more than 30 seconds, right? You keep going over there.
Bet you £1 million I can.
Sarah's aiming for a breadcrumb-like texture that will crisp up in the oven.
Keep going. See, you're bored already, aren't you?
Bored?
Come on, you do it like this. Lift it up, drop it down. Gently though.
After that's done, time to test the apple puree.
15 minutes in the oven. Can I have that spoon? Thank you. Because they're such lovely ripe apples, they're windfalls. That nearly tastes right already. It's really hot, be careful. What do you think?
Sugar.
Even more? You sure?
Better? Yeah.
Not bad.
Sarah's official taster approves, which is just as well because hungry visitors to the barn sale are arriving. Better get those crumbles in the oven. So far, Sarah's spent £4 on ingredients for those crumbles. Let's just hope the punters at the sale get a taste for them. Back in Walthamstow, Daniel's eager to get started on the ancient card table.
They should, in theory, be able to just pop the top out and see what we can do with it.
Daniel gets straight down to dismantling the card table. He starts by stripping the old wool coverings off the tabletop.
Because I want to use this board if possible. Also, the brackets are riveted onto it. And it's just quite nice not to have to kind of change it, really. Keep as much of the original as possible.
Daniel's now painstakingly sanding the wood top to give him a stable base to work with.
But it just needs a little bit of work. Nearly there.
Go on, son. Once that laborious process is finished, Daniel's attention turns to covering the tabletop with salvaged slate. But first, he has the brain-teasing job of figuring out how the slate pieces will fit together.
This is a dimension that we've got to work with. I'm going to draw a pattern. I want it to be very symmetrical and made up of different sized pieces of slate. So yeah, I've just got to work that out.
Creating a template for the slate pieces is a mathematical and time-consuming job. Having worked out the angles, it's time for the next stage.
So you cut the slate by hand. This is the tool.
Which, oddly enough, is called a slate cutter.
I use the corner here to score where I'm going to cut. And then I basically chomp along the line, snapping off the bit of slate that I don't want, hopefully.
Slate is a tricky material, prone to crumbling and splitting, so Daniel's really got his work cut out if he's going to achieve the crisp, sophisticated tabletop Sarah will want. Back in Marlow, Buckinghamshire, Neil's just about to get to work on his heap of Hessian.
Here are all the sacks. We've got about 18 sacks. We're thinking of keeping them an outside kind of feel to them and turning into something like a Hessian canvas version of a trug. So first thing to do with these is to start the design process and work out what we can do with them.
Before that, though...
Time to put these in the washing machine, I think.
Quite right, that stinky sack smell's gotta go. And once they're all freshly laundered, he starts to design the garden trugs he hopes to rustle up.
I think we need to establish a shape.
Neil sketches out his first ideas. It looks intriguing. If his design is going to work, he'll need to combine the Hessian sacks with some other materials.
So if we maybe can do something with these.
That's some reclaimed curtain wire from an old camper van.
Create a tube across around the top, hold it open.
Those would be put to good use, giving the trugs a bit of structure. And Neil's not done there. He's spotted another salvaged item to add to the mix.
And then some tent material. It's good stuff. canvas strip along the bottom of the base, another canvas strip around the top, because the Hessian sack, although it is strong, it's a very loose weave, so we can't have people putting in their plums and then seeing them roll across the floor.
With plum security the very highest priority, Neil applies a mix of paraffin wax and beeswax to the canvas to make the fabric more durable.
So the wax will strengthen it, make it sturdy. So compared to some unwaxed canvas here, we've got a much stiffer wax, and it will be waterproof as well.
To create that stiff, waterproof texture he's after, Neil then irons the material so that the wax impregnates the fabric. With all the elements in place, Neil stitches it all together.
Well, bag number one, I think the concept is right, the design is right, the look is right. It's it's about there, so that's good.
It's great, but that was just a prototype. He's still got a pile of sacks to start work on.
Well, the challenge is to make something along the lines of what I normally make, which is nice looking bags. The challenge at the moment is doing it at a price, within the budget. So trying to get something that's quick and straightforward to make. However, it obviously can't fall apart.
Neil's got a budget of only £12 per bag, and these trugs seem to need a lot of intricate work. In Walthamstow, Daniel's back at work on the card table. He's now ready to cut the slate pieces which he plans to inlay onto the tabletop. Today, he'll be cutting his slate al fresco. Very continental, Daniel.
Improvised outdoor workshop. Cutting slate makes quite a lot of mess. I don't really want to do it inside.
Slate can be difficult to cut cleanly, so he'll have to be careful.
Sometimes the diagonals are a bit tricky, but we'll see. So that's the first piece. So I need to do 7 more of those of that shape. Yeah, actually, it's working out all right. Caught me on a good day, I guess.
Will his luck hold when he actually tries to fit the big slate jigsaw together?
Quite happy with that, yeah. Good. So next up is to clean all the slate down, and then we've got to coat it so that the finish is good on it.
The Welsh slate Daniel is using will retain some of its time-worn patina even as he gives it a glossier look.
So it's coming up quite nicely.
Next, he varnishes the slate.
This process seals the slate, and it stops it from sort of crumbling any further. And it also sort of strengthens it and brings out the grain, gives it a nicer finish. I'm giving away all my trade secrets. This will be my undoing. Anybody else does this, the boys are coming around.
But trade secrets or no, do Daniel's old slates really belong on the sophisticated table he's promised Sarah? Back in Sussex, the barn sale is now in full swing, so it's time for Sarah to take the first batch of apple crumbles out the oven.
I reckon they're about done. That one's done. That one's done. They look great, don't they?
The apples started off as a load of unwanted windfall cluttering up a garden. But Sarah's worked her culinary magic. And now they're delicious apple crumbles.
Bit of clotted cream from the fridge, I think they're done. These may have been destined for the dump, but they make cracking crumble.
Sarah came across piles of apples in the back of Pauline and daughter Samantha's car.
Don't throw them, don't throw them.
Sure.
They were happy for Sarah to get her culinary mitts on their excess garden bounty.
I'll go and get a trolley, and these will be one of my more unusual items of the day.
At the barn sale, Sarah's crumbles are on their way to meet the hungry punters.
Crumble time.
And soon they're selling like hot crumbles.
Going to charge £3 each for the crumble like this, and maybe put some in teacups later for a couple of quid.
Sarah and daughter Libby managed to make 8 apple crumbles and 7 teacup versions. Good work, ladies. Now Sarah's near Hambledon in Surrey to fill Pauline in on what became of her surplus fallen fruits.
Hi there.
Hello, Sarah.
Lovely to see you again.
You too.
Beautiful day, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely lovely, yes.
I had so much fun with your apples. We made apple crumbles.
Oh, well, I'm sure that's wonderful.
They were really tasty apples, and they were made a lovely pulp, so they were great to work with. And I took some pictures of it. I'm sure you've made a lot of apple crumble in your time.
Well, yes, I have, but it's lovely to see someone else making them.
Okay, well, I thought we would make, we made little ones and we served them in teacups so that we made a few bigger ones as well, some little enamel ones.
Oh, right. Yes.
So we did have a bit of fun with them. I haven't made a fortune out of them for you, but I have got £25 here.
I don't believe it.
For you. So it was great
that's
to
brilliant.
have them.
Oh, thank you so much.
Any idea what you might do with £25?
Well, it's my grandson's birthday on Friday, so maybe I'll give it to him.
Oh, that's lovely. Well, that's really good. Thank you so much for letting me have them. And,
Oh, thank you.
Yes, do tell your daughter as well, because I know she was highly involved in this.
Oh, yes,
in
she
this
phoned me
packing.
last night and she said, oh, yeah, you must let me know what happens.
Yes, well, it's apples, and thank you so much. They were
thank
great fun to
you.
work with and very tasty. So
Thank
I hope
you.
he has a good present out of
I'm
that.
sure he will, yes.
Brilliant. Take care. Thank you ever so much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Well, it was great to catch up with Pauline again, and it sounds like her grandson's going to be pleased with that little windfall.
Sarah spent £4 on the ingredients for her crumbles. She sold them for a total of £29, giving her a tasty £25 profit to hand over to Pauline. In Walthamstow, Daniel's putting the final shine on the revamped card table.
I'm kind of apprehensive about Sarah arriving because it is quite out there and it is quite, full on. But yeah, I hope she's going to like it.
The last time I was here, I left a really big budget on a very small table. So I hope Daniel's managed to pull out all the stops to create something that I can sell for a profit.
When Sarah dropped it off, the old table was torn, tired and several cards short of a deck. Now Daniel's worked his magic. Its fortunes have changed entirely. The legs have been revitalised in a rich new palette of purple with gold leaf detailing. And the pièce de résistance, the salvage slate inlaid in the tabletop, has been engraved with one of Daniel's signature prints. It's a striking makeover, but will Sarah think it's saleable?
Daniel?
Hello,
Hey.
Sarah. How you doing?
Yeah,
Good to
really
see you.
well.
It's quite a statement piece.
It's a man table.
Yeah, it's quite quirky. It's quite fun.
It's beautiful what you've done on the top, and
Thank you.
these little catches have come up. They look sparkly and really classy, don't they?
Yeah, they did come up nicely.
I think it's beautiful. You've really feels like you've really crafted it. I sense a lot of effort in making all these pieces fit and bringing all the pattern together.
Yes, I took some drawings that I had and adapted them to the shape of the top.
It looks so handmade, and that is a charming thing to see in a piece of furniture.
Yeah.
Fantastic. And in terms of usability, is it all right? I mean, if you put a cup of tea down on this, is this usable?
Yes, it'll be fine, yeah. The slate is salvage slate, so it's come from a rooftop. It's been up on a roof for 50 odd years, so it's very hardy stuff.
I love the fact that it's rough and reuse the slate, but it's got such a fine detail and it's very clever.
Daniel took a creative risk on the bold design, but the table's a big winner with Sarah.
This is very recognisable as your kind of piece.
Yeah.
Is that, I think that will help sell it.
Yeah, I think so. I think we'll be looking to find somebody who maybe has some of my pieces already and wants something that's completely out there and completely different to what else is around. So.
Oh, fantastic. So you're going to make it and sell it. Brilliant. That's my kind of nose to tail designing. Well done.
Cheers.
I'll see you to send the cheque.
Careful, Dan, she'll have you loading it into the van next.
Wow, that is now a work of art, a totally unique piece created from something that should have ended up in a skip.
Sarah was lucky enough to spot Harry's card table hiding on his back seat.
Is that your card table? Are you throwing it?
Yeah. It's not in very good shape. It's about 80 years old.
Really?
Sarah wasn't put off by its age or condition and felt it still had a few games left in it.
I think that I might be able to make something out of that.
And Harry was happy to see it moving on.
Well, if anything can be made of it and sold on to somebody for benefit, that's fine.
Under Daniel's creative direction, it became something truly unique and spectacular. Keen to showcase the table in all its glory, Sarah hosted a pop-up shop in her barn and put it out on sale.
What is it, slate?
Yes, it's etched.
People were drawn to the interesting tabletop.
You think that's fine by me?
Sarah also listed it online on sites including eBay, Etsy and on social media.
There's been loads of interest in Daniel's table, and it's not surprising because that is a very clever transformation. Those kind of things are the collectibles of the future. But I haven't managed to sell it yet, but as soon as I have, I'm going to get back in touch with Harry.
With Daniel's labour and materials coming in at £350 and the table remaining unsold, we have a potential loss of £350. But Sarah has high hopes someone will soon snap it up and she can return the profit to Harry. Back in Marlow, Buckinghamshire, Neil's finishing the unenviable task of turning Hessian rags into what Sarah's hoping will be riches.
Sarah's about to arrive and see the transformation of these Hessian sacks. They were a real challenge. The mess was incredible. I've had a workshop full of Hessian. I became Hessian man by the end of the day. So they've been a challenge, definitely.
Now this could be a little bit embarrassing because all of the sacks that I left Neil with were in terrible shape. They had moths flying out of them. If he's managed to make something saleable out of them, I'll be really surprised.
The sacks started off as smelly, dusty and moth-bitten with little or no sex appeal. They are now multifunctional truck-style bags complete with a canvas base and handles and curtain wiring round the tops to make them practical as well as stylish.
I can't wait to see them. Is it a them?
There's plenty of them.
I think they're amazing.
Good.
They look so clean and nice and fresh and fantastic.
Good.
Oh, there's loads of them. How many have you managed to make?
10.
10. Oh, they're really impressive.
It's something that was going to be thrown away and it will just last another lifetime.
It's a massive achievement. You've turned something that was, frankly, nearly useless, short of keeping your tools in a shed, into something that's highly saleable and really attractive.
It took Neil long enough to make one truck. How on earth has he managed to knock up 10?
Once I got the production roll going, then I was making strips of canvas all in one go. So it's fine, yeah. They've come within budget.
They're bang on. They really are.
Sarah's delighted and Neil's just glad he doesn't have to don his cape and become Hessian man anymore.
Not sad to see these ones go. Quite happy to see the Hessian sacks go.
I am so pleased with this lot. They look absolutely fantastic and they've got bags of style. Smell that?
At the tip, Sarah spotted Keith and his large collection of Hessian sacks.
Oh, I love these. It reminds me of a sack race when I was little.
With Keith's blessing, Sarah made off with a bin full of sacks.
I mean, somebody can find a use for things like that, which you don't see anymore. It's brilliant.
And that somebody was bag maker extraordinaire Neil, who turned them into multi-purpose marvels. And thanks to his handiwork, they were bought by husband and wife team Nick and Kim to sell in their online retro furnishing and lighting shop.
Useful. Functional. Very functional.
With the bags rehomed, it's time for Sarah to visit Keith at his home in Surrey.
Hi there.
Hello.
Hi, Keith. How are you
Yes,
doing?
hi. Yeah,
Very
not too
nice
bad.
to see you again.
Yes, and you.
I'm here to catch up about the Hessian sacks that you were dropping off at the tip.
Yeah.
I didn't get the pleasure of working on them myself, but they went to a lovely chap called Neil, who uses lots of old materials to make new bags. So he took them and we had a discussion together about what to do with them. Well, let me show you. Okay, so here you go. So that might be the way you remember them.
Right, okay, yeah.
And this is how they ended up.
Well, God, they're good, aren't they? No, sort of, what are they, gardening bags or shopping bags or...
Yeah, well, they
That's
were
good.
whatever anybody wanted to be with them. Lovely Neil
Yeah.
made 10 of them for us. After his money, we actually managed to sell them at a profit.
Right,
So
okay.
we have £50 here to hand over.
Oh,
All
that's
for
good.
you.
Oh, grand. Oh, thank you. Oh, that's most unexpected.
Any ideas what you might do with it?
Oh, yeah, several things, but I think it would be nice to take mother-in-law out for a bite to eat. Something like, or a glass of wine, or 2 glasses of wine, you know, something like that. You know.
Fantastic. Thank you very much for dropping off.
That's
And
nice.
thank you for
Great.
letting me have them.
Great,
and
thank you. Yeah,
absolute
thanks
pleasure.
very much. Yeah.
Nice to see you.
Okay, thank
Thank you, bye-bye.
Okay, bye.
Well, I was really impressed with what Neil managed to do with those old Hessian sacks, and I think Keith was quite impressed too. And he's taking his mother-in-law out with the 50 quid. There are brownie points to be had there.
Neil stuck to his budget of £12 per bag and produced 10 at a total cost of £120. The job lot of bags sold for £170, giving Sarah £50 to hand back to Keith. So, thanks to Sarah, that's 3 items saved from the skip. The bootload of old apples became delicious crumbles. The tattered card table was given a glamorous new lease of life. And the smelly old Hessian sacks are now stylish garden bags.
Well, it's been great handing over money and meeting lovely people, but I have to thank Daniel and Neil for doing such an amazing transformation on their items. Otherwise, they'd have ended up in a skip.